Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Jace, how's it going?
Hey, Sean, not going too bad today.
All right. Seeing the top of Jace's head, he's already busy in the hobby world. So,
I
um,
am.
yeah, busy show today. We got a lot. There's so many screens when we do this episode. I think I have like 40 screens. So I actually started prepping 2 days ago. And getting ready for it. So we are going to do a pod launch, although we will briefly talk about the cards that came out today because it might be a full week before we get back at that. But we're not going to give too many hot takes on the Commander Cody cards. If you want hot takes, the internet is full of them already. But we will talk about them, and what we will do is we'll reserve some time in the round table if you want to come in and give your real hot takes on them. So we'll just have a primary look through them, talk a little bit about what it is we think they mean. What that means for the clone players and how interested you are in picking up Cody. I was saying earlier that I think that pretty much every release coming out now just has, if you play that faction, you're probably just picking up every new release because they all seem to be better than the last one or really, really good. So all my takes are hot. You're not wrong, Tom. You're not wrong. So
Yeah.
You know what? I had one error. It's actually 158. How did I make that? You know what? I know what I did. Hold on one second. I hate when I make overlay errors. I work hard, and then I still make errors. Boom, there it is, 158. So I'm going to throw that over Jace's head for a second. Make that go away, slide that down to the bottom, and there we go, 158 now. Okay, I looked at that and I said, AMG News, Commander Cody wasn't appearing there, so it's episode 158. I feel, Jace, when we hit the 160 mark, we might get there. We're still fairly amateurish, so but hopefully that's the last time I made there. Like I said, there was a lot of screens, and I have to always put these up right after work when I figure out who's actually casting and all the things and what time we're starting. So, by the way, we are 8:30 CST. Well, Jason and I didn't switch, so we're at the same time we always are, but it'll be a little later for you folks. So, it's Ryan, imagine what my school's like. My school's pretty well oiled, but I do that as a day job and not this. So, so we'll get into all that. We'll talk a little bit about that. Road to the Worlds, it's not far away at all, which is great. I have a lot of things to do. Speaking of school, a lot of things to do between now and when I leave. So I am looking forward to that, but I have lots of pulls in lots of directions, and I'll talk a little bit about some of that. But I've been doing pretty good at getting things up, and if you're a patron, you just got another video uploaded as well, so you can go check that out. And I have another one that's just about finished. I need to get that up, and I'll probably actually get that up before I go away to Worlds. And then Ben and I might do some like live on location, some maybe some like vlogging, and maybe what we'll do is we'll string together maybe a video while we're there of a bunch of clips and highlights and people we meet, et cetera, and then maybe we can talk Ben into coming on and doing a little post-world show, if not a pre-world and a post-world show. So we'll see what we can jam in there. But the bulk of the show, if you guys are here joining us, will be on the launch of Season 2, Round 4, because it's exciting. We actually had a bunch of new people come in, so many so that we actually went up to 5 pods this round, which is good, and they're all beefy pods, so you should get lots of games in. So that's what's going on. So Jace, let's jump in. Let's catch up a little bit about our last week's in Legion, I guess. So we did not have a Friday night fight last week because on the way out of school, I had to deal with something last minute. So I'm not sure what the scoop is. Anthony's away. Jace, are you available Friday? Are you around Friday?
Yes, I am around this Friday. Yep.
Okay, so maybe it's going to be you and I on the table again. So
you bet.
Maybe bring out some Dark Troopers or something. We can.
Yeah, you bet. I will
try
to get them. I will work on getting those built.
Okay, fantastic. And if they're not painted, well, Bernard will tell.
Oh, they will not be painted. Bernard can beat on me, but they will not be painted.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's kind of like that. Putting the peanut butter sandwich on the back of the cat's back, right? Like peanut butter always lands face down, cat always face up. But when Jace brings unpainted models, it's like the kryptonite for Bernard. He can't complain because Jace is the people's champ in Bernard's eyes. So Jace is like the only one that can get away with unpainted models. So we have that. All right. So let's have a chat about last week in Legion. What went on with you last week? All the things.
Oh, last week in Legion, I haven't done much. We played a game,
Oh,
and I think
yeah.
that was the only Legioning I have done so far in the past week.
Yeah,
past 2 weeks.
Well, you can tell people about that one because I'll talk about. I've played some other games. I also played that, but you share that, and I'll share some others.
Yeah, so last Tuesday, me and Sean played a game just to get him a practice game in for Worlds. He wanted to play against Dark Troopers, so I brought.
I wanted to.
I took Dark Troopers. I did not take the optimal Dark Troopers. I took the every upgrade available on the Dark Troopers.
That might be optimal. It might be optimal.
It might be, but that range 1 to 2 gun, it's 40 points. It's so much. Like, I get 80. You get 80 points dropping those, and then if you drop the extra guy, you get another 64 off that. So it's like, you can add 2 more activations for that. But I ran base 7 axe, 2 naked storms, 2 storms with a T-21,
Yep.
2 fully kitted out Dark Troopers with both guns, no sword, no big giant bat, and then Gideon with what I think you need to take with Dark Troopers, aggressive tactics, and the Dark Saber.
Yep.
So what did we end up having that game? We had
KP. No. We ended up on KP. Yeah.
KP advanced positions. KP advanced positions.
Yeah.
And I think it was just clear conditions for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just clear conditions. Sean was running his list to practice for Worlds.
Yeah,
and
not the current rendition, the one.
Not the current version.
Yeah, I ran about. Yeah. I learned in that game that 12 impact not enough. So now I'm running 18 impact, which I think is far better, and has done better against Dark Troopers because it wasn't that great in that game. Although the dice rolls,
there were some very skewy dice rolls.
Yeah,
I had a Death Trooper save go 1 for 4. And then immediately after that, I went 4 for 4, 2 for 2, 2 for 2 against 3 ion guns.
Yeah, I never got any ions through in 3 shots consecutive. That hurt. On the fire support turn, too, which I think just over-exemplified how good that fire support is versus like what I could have done to shut it down. So,
fire supporting a T-21 Storm Squad into a unit of Death Troopers because you can give the order to a core unit and have them fire support was just amazing.
Yes, very, very good.
And the amount of times that I rolled defensive surges on the Death Troopers and that aggressive tactics, because you can entourage an order to one and always give an order to the other, the amount of times that kept a Dark Trooper alive was a lot.
Yeah, very, very, very good. Yeah, I think I learned a couple things. One, my list needs to play tighter, of which I have played tighter with it, like in terms of a cluster, much better. I've also increased the range 4 capacity of the list, which is quite nice. And one of the other things that I have done is I've actually added some impact grenades to the Magna Guards, which for when they can rush out and get a range 1 shot, it's actually quite good. Converting the Magna whip. So throwing your 2 red Magna, I didn't have this in the game against Jace, but throwing the 2 red from the Magna whip at range 1, and then throwing the 3 grenades at range 1, and then being able to impact the red dice as opposed to relying on the black is a really nice way to get a really cheap and effective impact 3 shot off. So,
yeah, definitely, because your Magna did make it in. Now they got massacred on the way in. They took they took a really above average hit with a really below average save.
Yep.
But they did get in, and they rolled 0 crits.
That's the thing. They aren't going to. They're just a kind of another cheap source of impact. But yeah, the impact too. Like I said, I played against Dark Troopers like the very next day because I was like, I just want to keep running up against this wall. And we had to pause the game, but we were only at the end of turn 2. A very similar kitted unit that Jace had, and I fired the spiders at them 1 time in turn 1, and then B2s. And in the second round, I only used B2s and not even all of them. And that unit's currently sitting at 3 wounds left. I didn't even remove. I removed 3 models in the game against Jace. It was the saves were really keeping them alive, and the impact was not triggering. So it is going to be overly reliant on the fact that the impact needs to convert. But my list, my current rendition is built that I have impact 2 and 8 units, impact 2 or higher in 8 units. And so the impact spread is quite wide. And then also the ability to reduce the impact 2 only happens after you remove the heavy in each of the units and or the unit leader. So it's really hard to whittle the impact 2 down. And I think one of the things that really helps with that is the fact that you can no longer snipe heavies. You can still choke them, but having 2 wound models is another nice preventative measure in choke. And again, the game against Jace 2, one of the renditions that I have added in is now I actually have 4 heals. And I think when I played you, Jace, I just had the 2 heals.
And like 2 heals total, or
yeah,
2 heal bots?
Yeah, 1 heal bot.
No, you had 2 heal bots against me.
Did I have the 2 in that one? Okay, and
yeah.
I did not have improv in the list that I played with you. Though,
no,
right?
that was
right.
a big thing that really was screwing you over at times, was you
and
just kept getting those ones you didn't want.
Yeah, and you only really have one pull that you are, like, effectively, if you have improv in that list, it's the one time that you're going to pull, and if you proc improv, your order efficiency goes way back up. But not having that improv, and I think maybe 2 turns that ended up being an issue. So that's back in the list now too. So, but
yeah,
since
definitely.
the game against Jace, I've actually won 3 games with that list. So I'm happy with where it's at right now. I think I'm going to stick with that and move on from there for better or for worse. So,
yeah, I will say the impact blast gun did do good against your list when it got in range, just because you were running all those B2s.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think it's too niche to just keep in a Dark Trooper list.
Yeah, and I think playing my list tighter, because when you came in to be at that range, really I should have had every single B2 at that same range band, so that it was
they were all kind of spread out.
Exactly, a little bit more of a detriment to you if you're going to come in and get that shot off. Yes, you can get it off, but you're going to eat that back, twofold. So, and in my latest couple games that I played against an Anakin Yoda. I've played against a Blizzard Force in Bombing Run, which I was able to win. And again, just making that wall of guns that yes, the bikes have to come in, but the bikes are going to eat a shot at range 3. And the last time we played with the Blizzard Force, again, I played the same style against Jace twice with that spread out version, and in both games I learned that it needs to just play tighter in much more of a ball. So I've added that to the repertoire. So with much better success, which I'm happy about. So yeah, that's basically my week in Legion as well. So I played against Jace, and then I played a couple games, and then I played. Did I play a league game? Oh yeah, and I played a league game too against Silent Sword. I had a rematch against him because I had lost the first time I played against him. So super boring game with Blizzard Force in a breakthrough game against his Maul Cad Bane. He misdeployed. He misdeployed largely, I think, in the game, which really. I sort of baited him with my classic spread out my priority supply or my supply drops to make it look like I'm in a strong side. Then I went 100% opposite. I actually kept my entire army in 1 foot of the table for the whole game. And
that'll do it.
Yeah, and so he was kind of chasing me down a little bit. We had some cagey play kind of at the end. I made one little miscue, but he made a bigger miscue, and then I was able to capitalize off that. So able to didn't kill Maul, but I didn't really need to. So kind of a stock standard boring game of breakthrough, but did what I needed to do to play the league game. So yeah, so I just basically took the dice element out of that, and when you take dice out of it and just play straight moving around, it works okay for Blizzard Force. So yeah, so I'm just getting back to the chat here. So the Framinator saying the Magdet Enforcer on the Black Suns with impact grenades. It's definitely the chef's kiss for sure. However, one of the things that I found, and I kind of went through some evolutions of my worlds list, and I did have a Black Sun unit in there. But one of the things that I found when I had the Black Suns, it was with the flame spiders, and the list was really good at playing tight together. However, its range band was really, really hindered, and we saw that against the Blizzard Force. I didn't have enough kind of reach out and touch units at range 4. So now what I've added is I have in the addition with the Bombard, I have 4 range 4 weapons. I'm really prickly at range 3 with multiple blast weapons, and I have an anti-melee unit. So my range 1 to 2 obviously is really potent. So I'm kind of now staggered where I can hit things at all range bands. Which is nice, and I have the ability to kind of flex out to range 4 and the ability to bundle up as well. But yeah, the magnets were really great. But one of the things is that they were only playing at a single range band, and they didn't have much flex. And obviously, when you get really tight to them, they're really susceptible to force users with Pierce. And so, and they're not that great and that punchy unless you kind of can set up a standby with them. So I was really finding that they were great, but only if they could impact something at close range. Yeah, they'd be great against Dark Troopers, but to be honest, Jace can just easily take the Dark Troopers and hit them at range 3, soften them, and then push to range 2 and blow them up before they can really do much. So,
oh yeah, hit him at range 3, activate again, hit him at range 3, rinse and repeat with the other unit.
Yeah. So they're just.
I will say though, the big thing with Dark Troopers is that attack dice pool did let me down a couple of times.
Yeah,
really bad.
For sure. Yeah, it's really swinging.
Black dice.
Sure.
Yeah, black dice. No surge. You're praying you hit.
Yeah. Luckily, you get 2 tries at it, so it's always it's always helps when you get to go twice. So unless you're Palpatine, and then maybe you get to pull the strings on them. So you just go for it.
Oh man.
Just ridiculous. That's a lot of points, but whatever.
That is that's your army right there.
That is your army. Yeah. All right. Well, that is a lot of welcome, Sean. A lot of Legion. Ryan, we're not going to be talking about any Shatter Legion. So, but you can go find AMG's really pounding out the news for that. So, you can go look at a host of other Legion affiliated podcast and or YouTube channels if you want to get all the Legion Shatterpoint or Shatterpoint Legion, whatever you want to call it. So, it's it's out there. Yeah, it's just not my thing. Okay, Jace, if people want to learn about Shatterpoint, but want to know where to find us, how do they do it?
Yeah, so check us out on Facebook, Star Wars Legion Friday Night Fights, Twitter and Instagram at Legion_FNF, and check out Sean's Patreon at The Terrain Studio.
Yeah, hey, I'm actually should sport. I mean, I'll have a screen coming up, but I'm actually rocking the new jerseys here. Let me just jump up here so you guys can see that.
Hey, leave my shoes alone.
Boom, and boom. They're right there. And some people may be getting those in the wild. They're already sent out to some, and I have a stack that I'm bringing down with me. You're going to occupy my luggage as I bring them down to you at Adepticon. So in the world of other perks, the card sleeves will be next. That'll be post-World. So as soon as I get back from... Yeah, these are way super nice, Justice. I actually really like this design. I like it better than the first one. I like the first one. I just like this one better. And I got a little bit of a note about these jerseys, by the way. So these I'm going to get to as soon as I get back from Worlds and then have them wrapped up by hopefully like the end of May-ish and then as shipping out. And then that'll be the end of the perks for the year. So that'll be tokens out, card sleeves out, and jerseys out. So we'll have that done. On the topic of jerseys, folks that wanted them ship it out, I have a few to ship this week. So some of the Canadian ones will get out. I shipped a couple that people wanted like priority because they have events coming up. Like I think JD had one on like the 17th, so they're already out. I got a couple out, and like I said, I have the bulk of them to bring with me. So if you're at Adepticon, I'm probably bringing your jersey. If you haven't reached out and contacted me, let me know, and I'll get them out in the mail for you. I did decide, I was talking to my wife about this, I like how much I really like them. And I think what we're going to do is I think I'm going to do another run of these for people who missed it or, you know, it just wasn't a great time of year because we kind of did it, tail end of like Christmas and, all the monies get tight and, well, money's tight for everybody all the time, but I shouldn't say when your money's tight, but around Christmas, people are buying other things. So I think what I'm going to do is at the end of spring here, early summer, I think I'm just going to do another run. They'll be identical so that I can just save hours and hours and hours of digital work. And I will be willing to do another run of these for people who are interested. So let's get them out in the wild, let people see them, see what they think about them. I think you guys are going to love them. They look really sharp. They did turn out exactly like this, and everything's really crisp and bright. So if you guys are interested, just hit me up. I'll tell you how to get all the information that you need, and then we can get you guys a jersey. And then last but not least, the order tokens went in tail end of last week. So this is the sets. These are the sets that I ordered before. This is my set. I've talked to BR Poker Pro today, and I think everything's will be in production. They say up to 3 weeks just because they're a smaller company. They're really good to deal with, by the way, but they're a smaller company. So once they're printed, they'll be on to us here in the studio. And then if you ordered them, I think there's like 15 or 20 people who got them. I will ship them out and get them to you. They are pricey. These are pricey little devils, but so I think you guys will get the value. Jason and I were talking about them earlier. We've got sets from this company like that are 3.5 years old now. And they're still basically in the exact condition that we got them. They are fantastic. Justice says he's wearing his during the Thursday at the LCQ. I mean, where if you go deep, Justice, wear this every day. I bought 2. So if you see me in this in consecutive days, it's 2. It's 2. And I will bring my old one so I can wear it on the 3rd day. Even if I'm not playing Legion, I'm going to be rocking a shirt. Why would I not? So Commander KQ, going to be listening in as I drive to get food. Excited to be playing Legion again, you bet. And we'll get to the league launch here very, very soon. If you want to, you can come and find Jason and I on Friday. We'll be playing in studio. We'll do another banter rep. I think we're going to probably roll on the Hoth table again, Jace, just at a convenience that it's set up, and we've only got it on there once. We'll switch it around, and we might add some forests on there just to add a little bit of diversity. So not that the Dark Troopers benefit from cover, but everything else might.
What's that?
So Dakota said won't take it off. I don't even wear pants with it. Okay, fair enough. That's a little bit revealing, but I appreciate you rocking the Friday night fight. So Bob Shadow coming in for a few minutes. How's everybody doing? Ben, while you're here, I was mentioning earlier, let me just jump back so you can see a face. I was mentioning earlier, Ben, that maybe you and I will be doing a bunch of recording, or we plan to, maybe doing some like vlogging, and then maybe what we'll do is we'll put together a little bit of a video for folks, and then we can either do a pre and post or just a post Worlds, talk about all things Legion, what we saw, and be nice to kind of get that reciprocal relationship between Dice Time. By the way, if you go to the YouTube channel, there's like 4 or 5 Dice Time episodes uploaded just now. Brian got those up on the weekend, so go give those a listen. Shout out to Paul as well. So okay, all right, perfect. Pally's on break from work. That's awesome. Where was I at? I was doing perks. Oh yes, donator wall. I want to thank Bernard. Bernard actually donated last week, or the previous week, on the Friday night fights, so he pushed us up slightly higher. We got that 1630, I should say, on our way to increasing towards that bird dog. So we'll just slow roll this for the whole year and keep adding. Like I said, if you guys like what we're doing, it looks fine. I think we're doing a great job on it, but we can make it better and add things to it. We'll continue to do so. And we're pretty set up here in the studio. Like it's looking pretty sharp. So any tweaks we'll make will probably be larger tweaks that will basically just be quality of life stuff for us here. But I don't think from a capacity standpoint we're found wanting in terms of getting you guys what you need. So welcome. Yeah. So Strikers. It is an awesome camera. You bet. Strikers here. Travis is here as well. And there's 2 more on the way, says Bob Shadow, for the Dice Time episodes. I did want to bring quick attention. If you are a patron, you'll notice that the basing video is up. We have I've been working on getting my army based up for Worlds, and so I just did the resin pouring on some of the bases. A small caveat. I poured this, I filmed this, I did the next step after this, and then I was going to do the snow application and the grass tufts. And while I was recording that, it actually wasn't recording. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm simultaneously prepping another base to look similar to this. So then I will go back and film the second portion of this video here. So I'm going back and redoing something just so you guys don't miss out. But subsequently, my entire army is now based, which is great because that gets it ready for Worlds. But I don't want to skip out and show you guys how to actually get them up and finished. So I'm going to go do that. But sometimes, that happens when you film stuff and you just run it through and you're a single man operation. You don't always have somebody there to say, hey, you know what? I don't think that blinking light's actually blinking anymore. So it happens, but nonetheless, we'll get it done. But this video is up there. If you guys want to know how to use the cork, prep it, the colors that I use, the resin pouring, how I dam off the bases, all that's already on the video. So go jump over and show and see that. You can be at any tier basically to see the videos. So. Okay, then on to the news. Just telling you guys, Pally is confirmed. He's actually on a lunch break. I'm not sure if he comes in or he goes further into the street for lunch break. I'm not sure, but he is confirmed to be painting models for Worlds. I have seen that. So there's your confirmation on the condition that Pally is currently in. All right, Jace, here's the countdown, the checklist. It's 11 days for me before Worlds. I think that math checks out. And I've advanced quite far on this checklist. So I have picked a faction. It's going to be CIS. I have made a list, although I do sometimes tweak it. I have painted and based the list minus, I think, 2 models need basing. I continue to practice. I do waffle on the upgrades, not needing to be submitted until the 21st at midnight. So what I'm saying is I got days. I certainly haven't packed it, and I'm still here, and I have not left. So I am, I'd say, close to 50% of the way done the checklist. So there it is. That's the update on that. So 11 days to go. Pretty excited. I'm pretty excited just to be leaving my house and going anywhere but Saskatchewan, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, so there's that. Okay, well, today, Jace, on the AMG Twitter stream and a little bit subsequently on Twitter, they've shared out that 2 fan favorites were going to hit the table today in the stream game. And I believe that was Asajj and...
Yep, Ventress.
Sorry, Ventress. I said Asajj. Yeah, so Ventress and also Commander Cody. So... 2 characters that I don't really care that much about, but subsequently they were on the stream, and sounds like we got some Cody spoils and maybe a full article coming out for Cody very near future, and then quite possibly Asajj Ventress shortly after that. So that happened. You guys can go check that out on the Twitter feed for the link, or you can just go right to Twitch, but it's right there, twitch.tv/AtomicMassGames. And then, Jace, here are the cards. So,
oh, yeah.
I was just saying to Jace, I hate to do kind of spoilers when we don't have like full quality images, but I attempted to make this. Shouts to Striker who posted them. I went and cleaned them up a little bit so that they looked a little bit more command card-esque. And we do kind of have this screenshot here of the Commander Cody card, so don't fault us on the quality of that one. That's the best we have at this point. So we're not going to get too much into these. Like I said, I do want to do the league launch, and I don't want to make the episode 100 hours long. But let's get into these, Jace, because first off, I said I didn't really care about them, but I do care greatly for the card art. And perfectly honest, some of the best card art I've actually seen. I think I think this card art is amazing. I love it. Full action shots. They don't really seem like stock standard, like static images. All of these are very, very action packed. And I think I don't know who did the art, but kudos to obviously somebody at AMG. So if I knew who it was, I would give you full credit. But they are awesome. Welcome, Frank, joining us in chat. So Combined Arms is the 3-pip, Jason. I'll kind of read them out, and you can kind of give the blush on them. I don't play clones enough to really know if this is going to be super impactful, but I think based on some of the stuff, I think some early teching happening already in our Discord and several other places, I think people are pretty excited about this. So it's 2 troopers and 2 vehicles, ATET confirmed in the the card art here. As well as lots of clones. So during this activation, Clone Commander Cody, I should say, may perform free actions up to 2 times. Full stop. When a friendly vehicle unit declares an attack against an enemy unit that has an observation token, they may spend the token. If they do, after the attack, a friendly clone trooper unit at range 1 of that vehicle may perform a speed 1 move. Now, in order to get the full value of this, I think you got to go over to Commander Cody's card and notice that he has free action observe 2. So by my count, and I'm terrible at math, I think that's 4 observe tokens.
Yep, 4 observe tokens. 2 on 2 different units, or 4 on 1, however you really feel it.
Right.
I don't really see you getting 4 shots off or use for this, but I guess it just lets you use it for the benefit of this card and use some for rerolls as well, which is nice. I mean, I will never say no to getting multiple free actions.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. Moving the clones. I mean, movement is pretty powerful in most stages of this game. So there's lots of things you can do with it. Move on to an objective. Move a RPS that is out of line of sight into line of sight so you can shoot a cumbersome weapon. Things like that.
Yeah. I think the speed, I think the speed 1 move, though, because you get it off each, right? If you do after an attack, a friendly clone trooper at range 1.
Yeah, as long as you spend an observe token on each one.
Right, but I think we've seen before, like even with the droid card, Unstoppable Advance, I think it's called. You get speed one moves kind of out of sequence become I think quite impactful for a variety of
Hmm.
reasons. Whether it's like you said, moving into position for a shot and or moving towards an objective, or moving seemingly out of sequence when somebody's kind of doing the math on like how many moves do you have, and then you've got to then calculate in, oh, now this extra potential move that you have, you may or may not have. I think there's a lot of value there. I think anytime you can do free actions multiple times is also cool.
Yep.
And this saying here that performs the free actions up to 2 times. Well, he does have one free action. Um, he does have one free action on the card, but other people are pointing out if there's some other free actions granted via the objective or something like that, are you also able to do those?
Um,
Like, for example, a box search. Like, if it's free action, search a supply box, can he, effectively do that
I don't
twice?
see why you couldn't.
If it's,
Ba-
free action, I guess a drop wouldn't really matter because you could only drop something once. Um, but but free actions seem to be you
yeah,
seem to be
he
able to obtain those in other ways, right? So this is not saying perform his free action up to 2 times. It's just perform free actions. So I think it's fairly clear there. So yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
nope. It's nice. The one big thing with this is you get to give out 4 orders, which is also nice. Clones do this
yeah.
a lot on their 3 pips.
Hmm.
But 2 of them have to be vehicles, which a lot of people aren't taking 2 vehicles. So either we're going to start seeing a lot of ATRTs start coming around, or
Hmm.
double saber might come back, or more likely you'll just see a saber tank with an ATRT or two.
Oh yeah, sorry, Tom. I guess it does say perform his free actions up to 2 times.
But you
But
also have to read
the
you also have to
card
read supply drop then, which says non-creature trooper units gain.
gain. Yes, that's what I was just going
So
to get at. Those
that
are
is
still
his
his
action.
actions. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, still it is his free action. So
Right.
yeah, you could search a box twice. I mean,
Yeah.
on a supply drop. I mean, that's a really niche one on 1 out of 8 conditions, and I don't know if there are any other ones. Like, there's no other.
There's nothing that you'd
Um,
want to perform twice. I think there is other free actions like drop, for example, but
yes.
observe tokens from the lat pilot work for this too. Pally pointing out. So, yeah,
Yes. Yes, they do.
I think that if you're going to take a vehicle list, Commander Cody's great, obviously because he has direct vehicles. So I don't think if you are taking Cody that you're going to find no room to take 2 vehicles. And I think ATRTs, given that they block line of sight, the
And have
impact on,
scout in
yeah, exactly.
scout for Republic.
Yeah, and the weapon on them is becoming more and more versatile, I would say, or useful. Not versatile isn't the keyword, but more versatile in the game. So I think there will be places to find some uses for vehicles. So there you go. Combined arms, Commander Cody. Let's have a look at the 2-pip here, and I guess as we get down
Yeah.
the track here, we'll have more and more exhaustive ways to exploit this card, I'm sure. So have I ever let you down? Well, that's a yes. It's pretty. It hits me hard.
We will see.
For sure. So this is Commander Cody and 1 trooper, showing Obi here on there, but he would certainly be one recipient, but it could be any trooper. While a unit that was issued an order by this card is at range 1 of Clone Commander Cody and suffers wounds from an enemy attack, after the attack is resolved, if Clone Commander Cody is at range 4 and has line of sight to the enemy unit, he may perform an attack against that unit. Okay. What do you think?
It's interesting. I mean, if there's a unit you know that your opponent really wants to focus, you can give it to them, and either they don't shoot them at all, or Cody can just attack multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
The one big problem is Cody himself attacking isn't that great, because it's 3 dice into what is the new Legion of everything is just about always heavy cover, and he has no sharpshooter, so you're looking for all 3 to hit or some crits or surges.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if he has observed tokens, he's got potential to.
Yeah.
I guess if he's got them out, he's got potential to have rerolls. He does have a lethal in here, and he also has surge crit, so he's got maybe a little bit of potential to fish for a few crits. But and I can't tell what else is it.
Oh, he is 4 dice.
is he lethal 1, impact 1? Yeah, and
Yeah, lethal
I
1,
think he's
impact 1. He
2
is
red,
4.
black, white. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yep. I couldn't. I thought the white was part of the clone helmet there.
oh yeah, no,
Yep.
that's a fair assumption. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Nope.
so
There's a white there.
I think you have some potential to kind of fish for crits and get some off there. I don't think having 2 or an additional range 4 attack is terrible. Um, but uh, but yeah, it might not be the most potent pool as you pointed out. He doesn't have the ability to get over cover, and so it might just be a suppression at best, maybe if it's into heavy. But you might force some if you do get some crits or surges in there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, what Pally's pointing out is I do think this works with Obi-Wan's Guardian because it doesn't say when you're declared the defender. It's just when you suffer wounds from an enemy attack. So an enemy declared an attack action, that unit takes wounds. So if Obi Guardians off a unit, is in range 1 of Cody, takes a wound on the Guardian, then Cody can shoot.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, yeah.
It's a thing. The nice thing, too, is this isn't limited to once, and it isn't limited to having face-up order tokens on either of them.
Right. Yeah. So while a unit was issued an order by this card.
Yeah, so it'll only ever be the one unit because you have to give to Cody, and you have to give to one trooper.
But if you put it on, but you were saying around putting it on to maybe like have an enemy avoid shooting at that unit as one potential way. It could be the flip of that as well. You could put it on a unit that you know the enemy needs to shoot at, but you have maybe some suffering potential as well as clone medics. You could actually suffer some wounds, bring units back, and they still have suffered that after the attack is resolved. You can then get the model back later or potentially heal a wound later, but still trigger the effects of this, which is kind of cool as I read it anyway.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing that's going on in chat that I also have no clue is, does this allow him a fire support into Cody's shot? You'd have to have orders from something like Fives or a direct commander or an uplink
because
or
you're
something.
Only going to have 2 up here, but maybe. I mean, it is a.
Or you have a comms relay on Cody.
It's an attack,
but
why can't it be fire supported? Yeah, Pally confirming my same sort of assumption. So
that's my thought too.
Yeah, gross. I mean, it's a way to burn through orders for sure. But fire is supporting that attack, and then that goes back maybe into the realm where you're talking. But it's like maybe that's a great diversionary tactic, right? Like you might not want to shoot that unit. If it's going to end up taking return shots back. So, okay, well, Jace actually ran out to purchase Cody right now, so I'll just continue on to the 1 pip here. Uplink, HQ uplink on 5, Cipher, a whole host of things. There's direct off the commanders as well. If you take generic commanders, there's that potential as well. So, Al's saying we just need points reduction. Al, you've already got all your buffs for clones that you need, so that's enough.
Yeah, Al, you don't get anything else.
Yeah. Al currently is probably traveling to simultaneously to 3 more tournaments to go run up his ELO rankings. So, okay, so the 1 pip, bring it down. Cool name, cool art. I like this. I kind of like the purple.
That is my favorite art of the 3.
Yeah, it's really really cool. So this one is only Clone Commander Cody. So during his activation, Clone Commander Cody may perform his free actions up to 2 times. That's not a repeat. That is the same wording in terms of we didn't read the same card twice. You just get this ability twice, which is great. So more observe.
Lots of observe.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what clones need, more ability to manipulate dice with rerolls. So when a friendly unit declares an attack against an enemy unit that has an observation token, in this case probably a high likelihood that that's some models on the other side of the table, you may spend the token. If you do, the attack gains suppressive. If the enemy unit is a trooper unit, if you get suppressive if it's an enemy trooper unit, and impact if the enemy is a vehicle. So that is that's not bad. That's not bad. It's a nice way to add some impact into a clone list for sure if you do go up against vehicles. And it's a great way to add suppressive if you're just against troopers. And in fact, you can actually add both. There's nothing that says you have to be one or the other. Meaning that if you face both vehicles and troopers, this card has versatility built right in. And I kind of like this, that you don't need to take impact weapons to get this, and you don't need to take suppressive weapons to get this. You're just going to get this as an added bonus to attacks you are already doing anyway.
Yeah, definitely. It's really nice.
And here's a question for you, Jace. So if you can put multiple observe tokens out, because I think you can, when you observe, I believe that they don't all have to go on the same. Is that accurate?
I think they do.
Like observe 2 that becomes observe 4. So does all 4 tokens have to go on the same target, or do you get
No, you do 2
and 2?
2 would go on one, and then you can put 2 either on the same or on a different.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, so it's the number that you have, but it's times 2. It's not doubling this value of this. So if you're able to do that, it's when a friendly unit declares an attack against that. So even if it's not Commander Cody, it's all units will gain the ability of suppressive, if I'm reading that correctly.
Yep.
So Commander Cody doesn't have to actually do that attack. It could actually be 2 other units that could trigger that. So if you wanted to use Cody, for example, he would have the lethal 1, impact 1, which would then actually go to impact 2 in this particular case, and then he could add in a fire support weapon or whatever and have that attack. And so his effect would be with the keyword of whatever target unit that he has. Or if Cody was shooting at another unit, it would have suppressive if it was a trooper unit. But it's not just Cody's attack; it's anyone with an observe token in this case. Is that how you read that?
Yep, that is how I read that.
And going back to Pally's earlier point, if there was observation tokens that came off a lat, then would this card effect trigger as well? Because it says an enemy unit that has an observation token. It doesn't say that it got an observation token off this card or off Cody or anything like that.
Yeah, nope. Does not have to be from the card. It can be from the pilot as well.
Okay, so if you had a way of getting out additional observation tokens, this card would go maybe a bit. You could get a bit more legs out of this one as well. So,
yeah, which Gar luckily do.
Yeah, I think observe is something that we don't see a lot of, but I think we've started to see it come in a bit more from some of the recent releases. So. Doesn't Moff Gideon have observe as well?
Moff Gideon does have observe.
Yeah. So we're starting to see that come in, which is cool. So, okay, well that is kind of where those are at. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure people will come up with very, very exploitive ways of doing that. Those crafty Gar players that are out there, and I look forward to facing this on the other side of the table. Observe 1. Oh yeah, no, fair enough. I just thought I remember him having observe. So I'm actually playing Moff in next league round just for funsies, and because I haven't played him and I don't really know much about him, so I thought, hey, let's give him a rip. So that'll be fun. So, and then who knows? Maybe I'll give Cody a try. So I do kind of like the Gar vehicles. So. An excuse to get in there, and maybe I'll become a Gar player if they get the what is it, the ATET or ATTE?
ATTE?
TE, yeah. That is a very, very cool vehicle. One of my favorite from the Clone Wars shows for sure. So, and if they get that in Legion scale, we might be getting up there. Maybe the AT-AT's next. So, soft confirmation on that. Of course, we don't know that to be coming out for sure, but it'd be cool, and I think people would really, really like that. And especially if it was like Gar became like the vehicle list, I think that would be one of the cool ones to bring in. So, okay. Well, Jace, we got to the 50-minute mark, and we probably got to get through all the league stuff. We're going to give we're going to give you guys a rundown of the sort of past league stats. So round 3, kind of some of the things in terms of conditions and deployments and all that. We'll get into who collected bounties. Then we'll get into a little bit about the round 4 stats, because I'll give shout out to here in a minute, but we have some of that, like who took what units are popular, and then we'll get into the standings and then the league rounds, and then we'll finish up with the round table. So before we get into the league, if you guys aren't familiar, we are starting season 2 round 4. So we've been going a long time with this league, which is great, and we just keep running consecutive rounds, which is fantastic. We actually went up in numbers, so we're either doing something right or people are super bored, but either way it's fun, and we're having a good time doing it. So had a little bit of growth this last round, which is great, especially coming into the springtime where people maybe have other conflicting interests and are able to get out of their houses, but they're still doing it, which is fantastic. But one of the things I wanted to say is a big shouts to folks that are behind the scenes who don't get enough credit, who do a ton of work, and that being Sean Death and Canadian Bear Graham. So Sean is on it. He is the man who collects all the points, keeps track of the wins and the losses and the points and the bounties, and keeps me informed on all that, which is fantastic. Running the numbers behind the scenes, which is great. I'm just the front guy who tells you to play your games and pops into to TTS games just to razz people. And then Graham is on the list collection, so he's the guy verifying lists, getting the information, putting the stats together in terms of who's taking what's popular, what lists are doing what in the league, and he compiles all those stats. And then Jake's making the maps, or getting the maps put together, I should say. So if you have complaints, you complain directly to Jake. And if you have complaints about too many Dark Troopers in the next round, then you definitely message Canadian Bear about that. So he's just a man collecting that, but he'll tell you how many exactly are in there. In fact, Jason and I are going to tell you here in a few minutes how many Dark Troopers made it into the next round. And if you guys have complaints about who's in your pod, you can 100% complain to the random generator of the pods, and never complain to me, because I have nothing to do with anything other than making the screens. So if I spelled your name incorrectly, which I often do, that is also on me. But these aren't real names. They're hard to remember if you had like a numeral or like a lowercase or a hyphen somewhere in there. So yeah, there's Jake in chat, so you guys can just spam Jake for the maps. So, all right, Jace, let's get into the stats. So blue versus red in the last league round. Red back on top. Just telling you guys. So
Okay.
Red slightly beating out blue there, and we were maybe potentially saying pass mechanic may have something to do with that. So that's the stats for you there. So nice split, fairly even on that. Objectives ran last round. Fairly even spread here. Seems like Intercept, Sab, and KP dominating there, a little bit more than 50% of that. Not a lot of bombing run, which is surprising. And I think that's probably because the list taking bombing runs, aka Blizzard and Fluttercraft, people just don't want to have any business of that. That being said, Justice and I blew up that stat because he had Fluttercraft and I had bikes, and we actually play bombing runs. So we both wanted that. So we're probably one of those 4% in there for sure. So not a lot of payload, not surprised there at all. Fairly even split on recover, hostage, and breakthrough, just a small percent different there. So not a big surprise that KP was in there. Sab, maybe a little bit surprised, but that might again be a red player not being at that huge disadvantage anymore by simply losing out on the ties. So potentially red player taking 0 bids and kind of pushing for Sabs might be to blame there. So let's have a look at deployments. Deployments, major offensive. I think that's the safe bet, but a lot of rollout, which I also think is just like a kind of a pseudo major offensive, just a little bit longer, but effectively the same deployment zone. I think in the bulk of the map. Disarray, not surprised to see that at the bottom. Hemmed in, yeah, everyone's staying away from Vader and Blizzard Force. That makes a lot of sense there. Advanced positions, not a lot. I don't feel like advanced positions I'm taking a lot anymore, to be perfectly honest. And I've really been back to battle lines and liking battle lines, and I think Dark Troopers are going to like battle lines, to be perfectly honest, as well. Because wide flank and the ability to get across the table, but I'll just secret tech. I think Dark Troopers like battle lines, but I think they're just staying right in the middle. So you can wide flank on them, but they're just going to get to the middle and be there first if you don't try to race them to the middle. So I think they're going to like it. So and then Long March coming in at 10% there. So yeah, no surprises. What's your favorite go-to deployment right now, Jace?
My favorite go-to. Well, in the last league round, it was Hemmed In.
Okay. Yep.
But I was playing double buses, so I was like as close as possible, as quick as I can.
Yep.
I am very sad that my 4 wins as blue with my 18-point bid didn't help propel us any bit farther ahead of red, but
no.
Is what it is.
Yeah, I also got 4 wins all as blue, and yeah, just didn't get there. So yeah, next round. I'm playing red next round, so well, I hope to be anyway. But if there's all 800 points, we might all be vying for red now. So we're all bidding for red. Flip the meta on its head. And then the conditions here, not surprising. And I think I've played like last 5 games have been like supply drop. Seems to be the most popular one there.
Yeah, I've played a lot of supply drop.
And then Fortified surprisingly coming in with all the heavy cover. I'm not really sure that I need Fortified anymore, but I just think of more cover is always good. So, and I feel
I think it's
one of
just
the
a safe choice.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you on that a lot. So limited visibility, I feel, is like just a straight counter pick to anything that's got range weapons out there. So secretly, I think it helps a lot of lists that people think it hurts. But it's still in a lot of decks. I'm actually moving away from taking limited visibility right now, just because, again, I think it's secretly helping units that want to get and be on me fast. So I'm trying not to put it in there. So not to give any free picks if, in fact, I get to run my deck. So, yeah. Sean's saying he's on the red train for sure. So that was round 3, by the way. So we don't obviously have that stats for this league round, but we will. So that area is all done, covered off. So thanks to Sean Death for putting all that stuff together. That's one of the things that he put together. The other thing that he put together for us was the bounties collected. So have a look at the bounties here collected from the last round. By the way, if you guys weren't following or didn't know about the league or are just joining us for the first time, the bounties were placed on all Gar players. Just because we felt Gar was getting a little bit too big for their britches, had too many buffs added to them, so we thought we'd hit them with one keyword that they didn't have, bounty, although it was kind of a counter bounty, as you got to claim it if you beat a Gar player. So J-Rod collected 1, Silent Sword got 1, Strange Event got 2, Scythe Dog Anthony, he got 2, Bobster 117, he got 2. Anthony, by the way, scored a whole whopping 19 points in this last round, so I'm not sure what was going on in Anthony's round, but you guys got to keep that guy in line.
Anthony was also the only one in our round that was able to play every game.
Well, fair. I mean, that's part of the league, right? You get rewarded for being able to play all your games, right? So,
and I think he had them all done in like the first week and a half.
Well, I mean, kudos. I mean, he just got bonus points for being have a strong initiative there and intuition to get the league rounds done first. So people wouldn't be onto his saucy tech. So Bobster 117, he got 2. Sean Death got 1. Frizzle Dizzle got 1, and Canadian Bear got 1. And just when you thought we were done, oh no, there was more bounties collected. Crow Servo, he got 1. I got 1. Hugo Biggs got 1, and Mr. Witty 82 got 1. So I'm just going to point out I collected mine off Justice, who in the last league launch show said he was going to whip me, but he didn't. So yeah.
Justice, you failed us, man.
Yeah, I only get to do like saucy things like that because I have a microphone. So and no rebuttal necessary. Justice, it's perfectly fine. So you can get us in the round table. And Canadian Bear said he's missing 1 list from this round. So if you are that one person, and I don't know who it is, but you should type it in.
It's not me
so
anymore.
I'm gonna call that person straight out right now. But that's pretty good, and we are ready. The league will launch immediately after this show. When I open up the chats, I think I have them created. I just got to go do the permissions. So, so give me a little bit when I click the done button here. Don't start spamming me that your chat room's not open. So, in my defense, he played Blizzard quad bikes. How's it a defense? Like at this point, you can't even the Blizzard crutch is old. That's tossed out. At this point, you should just assume people are running Blizzard Force. So, yeah, this is this guy. In my defense. Oh, this guy. Okay. Oh, then he's good. The list is good. I think the list just makes, not to say the list makes people better, but I think the list is pretty forgiving in certain scenarios. I think in our matchup, though, triple flutter versus triple bikes in bombing run, I think we matched up fairly evenly, and our game could have went either way. I had one sneaky move that helped me out a lot in that one. So. Yeah, fair enough. See, Anthony's like, he's not good. It was all Blizzard Force. He's right back in there. So there's Anthony coming in with his chirps from the sidelines. So yeah, forget everything I said about Anthony. Nothing I said was true. And in fact, he's getting a 19-point penalty right now. So
yay.
Dakota says, I'm not even gonna, you can read what Dakota said. I'm not going to repeat that, but
yeah.
Okay. So let's get bounties collected. There was a lot, but let's get into the round 4 here. And before we get into that, we're going to tell you who took what, just so you know what to look forward to. And I have all the rankings breakdown here. So the commanders for the next round, just highlighting. Oh, that's not the commanders. Oh, jeez, what's going on here? Look at that. That does not look like a commander.
What are you doing?
What is going on here? Do we have commanders? Oh, maybe I didn't get commanders. Oh yeah, there we go. Look, I'm just gonna throw it up like that on the fly update. Here we go. The commanders are the capo, sadly not as popular as it once was, but Yoda at 4%, Anakin 14%. huge.
Massive.
Palpatine making an appearance here. Imperial Officer coming in. Grievous, I like that 2.4% for Grievous. Kalani in there. Moff Gideon. I don't know if I'm just not seeing it, but do you see Vader anywhere in here? I'm not seeing a Vader
not there.
Did not one person take Vader? Wow, that's flipped around.
There is also where's which one is Moff Gideon?
Moff Gideon is on there at 11.9%. So
there's one more Moff Gideon that isn't on there.
Okay, fair enough. All right, no foreshadowing,
and it's mine.
But Jace might have that in there. So Rebel Officer Cassian, so a little bit of a spread there. Sadly, Justice Obi's way down there. So, Anakin Skywalker, I think leading.
Commander Vader's amazing, Anthony. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a thing right there. So Jake, no spoilers on the heavies. We're gonna get to there. So then we look to the operative. I think I have the rest of these right. Bosk at 4%, Maul, Cad, nice even spread there for all them. Boba Fett 4%. Boba Fett at 4% actually feels a little low to me. I thought he might. Oh, never mind. We have Boba Fett. Okay. This you can blame Canadian Bear on there. I see Boba Fett on here twice. So what's going on here?
So that's going to be
that's going to be
I think the 4.3 is Gar Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Or not Gar, Rebel Boba Fett.
Right. And then the 13 is the CIS version, which the Empire version. Yeah, Empire version. Bosk over here again, Bosk on there twice. I don't have to break down the keys, so Canadian Bear can break that down for you. Din in there, R2D2. Have a look, 13% R2. When is the last time you've even seen R2?
It's been a while since I've seen an R2.
But I mean, in fairness, hey, it looks like we're going to see some R2, which is fantastic. IG 88 and 11. IG getting a little bit of head start there on the IG bid, but I'm okay with that. My bad, missing the labels on that one. No problem. It's okay, Canadian Bear. We won't fault you. We just appreciate the stats. A little Chewie in there, K2 in there. Here's where Darth Vader is going to come in as the operative. So no Commander Vader. Op Vader is where it's at. So Anthony is saying Commander Vader stinks, but Op Vader is coming through at 8%. Fairly even spread here. IG-11 on the other side as well. In the I believe that's probably going to be the Rebel version over here. Coming in probably the Rebel stronger. Version. So Empire 11 not so great. 88 leading the way, and then on the other side IG-11. Basically matching 88 on the other side. So I think that's pretty fair to say they're even split. So there's that. Let's have a look at the core. Core troopers, here's the breakdown. Stormtroopers leading the way at 21%. I don't think that's a surprise.
You can add another 2 units from my list in there.
Fair enough. Pikes at 2.4. If we would have done this a few rounds ago, the numbers would have been far different. B1's coming in at 11%, kind of giving you some idea of how many CIS lists are in here total. Phase 2's coming in with 4%. Phase 1's at 15%. So seems like we're going to have a fair bit of GAR in the lists here. So
Bounty GAR again.
Yep. We have Rebel Pikes, very small percentage. Medium Blasters coming in 11%, and Rebel Veterans at 12%. So not surprising that those numbers are similar, but if you add those together, that's a pretty big chunk. In fact, it's actually slightly higher than Stormtroopers. Snowtroopers a bit lower than I might have anticipated. Shore Troopers a little bit of a resurgence, and that might be some people taking Remnant, so might see some of them coming in there. And then
I've got one of those in there as well.
Okay, fair enough. And then Heavy Response units only coming in at 1.6%, so maybe some indication that Blizzard Force may be starting to die off a little bit, at least in the league here. So, and that's the core breakdown. So we got a couple more here. Let's get into the Special Forces breakdown. Sorry, my bad. Scout Troopers coming in at 29%. So either people taking full scouts in
lots of Remnant,
or Remnant. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Death Troopers, been a while since we've seen them, but at 12.5%. Not
lots of Remnant, because those have to be there because they were banned, so they have to be the one core unit allowed for Remnant.
Yep, for sure. Strike teams coming in, I believe that will be Empire strike teams on one side and then Rebel strike teams on the other on the left-hand side there. Wookiee Warriors coming in here at 8%. Some probe droids coming in, obviously probably matching up with some Maul takes there. And then the Mandalorians coming in at 8%, maybe a bit higher than I might have anticipated there. So, and then Inferno at 12.5. I think Inferno are still quite good. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have Ventress because Ventress is not in the mod, Anthony. So you literally can't take her. So unless you do proxies, which I think just becomes confusing. So yeah, not in the mod yet. And I think we're still. I think Jake was getting some intel, and it might be a little while yet before we might see Ventress. So. Canadian Bear coming in with the live takes here. 2 HRUs and 29 regular Stormtroopers is the breakdown. I think somebody was
So
asking
lots of Remnant, very little Blizzard.
Yep,
Actually, that's what, one Blizzard list?
maybe. Who's that sucker that took Blizzard Force? Jeez.
It's Anthony. I 100%. I already know it. He said so.
I mean, I wasn't going to call him out, but since he put that on there, that's Anthony Neithercut, and I'll give you the spelling of that. So, Anthony trying to throw some deceptive posts in chat here. Who's playing Blizzard Force has no idea.
Who would play Blizzard Force? Who would do that?
This guy. Support unit breakdown here. We got Dwarf Spiders at 6.5. We got RTs at 19%.
Holy!
Yeah, so I believe
Which
that,
one?
I think the yellow is the clone version and the green RT is the rebel version, if I was kind of keeping this clustered together. So people liking it. I mean, and Cody's not in, by the way, so that number might only be up when Cody's in there. So Bark Speeders at 16%. I just played against a triple Bark Speeder list just the other night against Graham. Tauntauns at 9.7, I should say. FD Cannons at 25.8. Pizza Cannons are in. Range for people for the win. And maybe that, I don't know if that means Echo Base is up, but if it is, I'm
assuming Echo Base. I also think it's people probably taking that with a overcharge generator to prep for Dark Troopers.
Darks. Yep, fantastic. Love it for sure.
And whoever did that is probably picked very wisely.
Yep, very, very nice. So do like that. So get your, and I feel FD cannon stock might be going up here. So you might, if you see them in your local store, sitting there collecting dust, they're probably right next to the E-Webs, which can continue to collect dust. Do not buy them. But the FD cannons, a cool model, by the way. If you don't own one, they're awesome. But you should pick one up for sure, or two maybe at a minimum. And then last but not least, we go to the heavies. This is a bit of a skew. Just shy of 60% for the Dark Troopers.
Actually, Canadian Bear said he's going to give us the updated one because I have two Dark Troopers.
Okay, I also have 2 Dark Troopers in my list. So, and then T-47.
62.1.
Okay, 62.1 live updates here. Okay, fair enough. We got it. And then T-47's probably maybe a nice pick to counter some Dark Troopers. I think they got a nice punch,
that's a great pick.
Yeah, punch and range, and I think you can kind of deceptively come in, hit them, and get out with speed, which is kind of nice. Also, the fact that you can relocate these T-47's quite nice to I guess refront and get some distance from those Dark Troopers, or if they're dropping near back lines, have something that can respond to that as well. Justice giggles, I'm in danger. Yeah, definitely get the Ralph Wiggum quotes out here for sure. And then everything else doesn't even matter. They're in there at low percentages, but the AAT at 7.4%. I love that. A little bit of sprinkling here of the Land Speeder, Saber, and the Speeder Truck. So, but yeah, no question about it. Dark Troopers good. By the way, the next release of tokens, if I want to do this run again. I might do a little bit of a different pack where people could get the tokens that they want to supplement the sets that they have. So I might just buy some bulk tokens if I feel there's a need, and then people could get what they want to do off that. But we'll see. We'll get this first run out. So. I think I agree with you, Sean. I think the Snow Speeders could do good. So Sean Dess says the chart is green, which so happens to be HH12's favorite color. So
please don't put me in Sean Dess' group again.
Well, you know what? We are about to get there. So we'll wrap up the groups, and we'll get folks, hit us up in the round table. Get in there and start ripping your groups, calling them out, making predictions. We want to have that. That's the point of the league launch show. So, all right, before we do that, let's update the standings for this. And if I have these incorrect, you can blame Sean Death, but I think he's done a pretty good job. And if I've made any mathematical errors, I will correct those. But here it is, top to bottom. Silent Sword, who I just played in my last league round, he's got 39 points leading the way.
Ooh.
I have somehow managed to not suck out entirely until this round coming. But I have 37. Anthony closely following me, 36. So Anthony pointing out that apparently I'm not good in just Blizzard Force. Well, I mean, somehow Anthony is slightly better than you, who took Blizzard Force, by the way. So the only guy still repping that crutch is Anthony. Hugo Biggs in here with 35. Sean Death, HH 12 o'clock, is getting him all the way to 32 points. J-Rod closely on his heels with an equal 32 points. Justice has got 27. JD at 25. JD didn't get a lot of games in this round, so I think he dropped off a little bit. He's relegated this round, as he pointed out. Wasn't going to play, but decided, you know what, heck with it. I'm back in the league. He hasn't missed a round, and he's back in, hitting it hard this next round. So Kokazula in at 24. Hopefully I got that. I think I got the spelling Eric fixed there. Eric at 24, Canadian Bear at 24. So log jam there in the mid 20s. Mr. Witty making top board there at 21. Strange Event 21. Crow Servo 19. OS Jace at 17. Commander KQ. Dirty Rogue at 16, GM at 14, Exeter at 14, as well as Dashes back in again this round. Bobster, Dark Slider, 12 and 13 respectively. Exile Bullet 9, Exambler, Frizzle Dizzle at 8. I think Frizzle's taken a round off. Obi-Wan Toby, new player from last round, at 7. Florf at 6. Tactical Genius, Bernard at 6. Bear Chemist, Debaticus at 4, but back in this coming round, which is great. Cubone Jr. at 3. Nate the Great at 4, Soren Cloud at 4. Took some licks in the round, but has worked on his list. He's got some list help, and he's back in, which is great. Like I said, it doesn't matter, if you are, losing games. It's about the experience and getting something from each game you play. Bond 007 at 3, Cap Satan at 1, and Ain't No Poser, who's still on the list with his single point. Ryan hasn't rejoined the league this round. So yeah, you're still on the list right at the bottom. You're holding us all up. So like I said, if you want to join, it'll be about 6 weeks from now when the next one will start. So keep that on your calendar. Keep looking at us for updates, and we'll get in there. So okay, so there's a Dark Trooper bounty this round. Maybe Justice. Let's get to that at the end. But let's get into the actually no. Let's go to the bounties right now, Jace. So if you are one of the following, and the bounties were assigned by this, if you won your pod, you are bountied. So if you are the winner of your pod in the last round, I had a few suggestions on how to do it. In terms of how to do bounties this round. I liked that one, and I thought it was fairly fair, and it didn't hit any one faction or any specific unit or anything like that, and I didn't need to look at lists, and it doesn't matter about lists, but here's the following bounty players. So Canadian Bear, congratulations, you have a bounty. So Graham did so well that now everyone needs to knock him off. Dash has also won out in his pod, so he was bountied last round, and I think maybe the round before that, or maybe the first round. I think maybe 1, 3, and 4. But he also won. Anthony, congratulations. You are also bountied. So spoke too loudly in chat, and I just assigned him a bounty. And I was able to win out in my pod, so I'm also bountied. So, but I'm perfectly fine with that because I took a terrible list, and I'm just going to give free points away to everyone that's out there. So that is the bounties. So Canadian Bear says, "Aw, crap." Anthony says, "Excellent." Sean Death says, "This is the Rogues Gallery of Bounties. Tough to collect." Well, fair. I mean, they might be, but as I said, I think I'm going to give away a few. So, Justice, can I join you to be in danger, as Canadian Bear points out? All right. So the moment you have now all been waiting for. By the way, folks, we've been going for a bit here. We got 15 thumbs up. There's 26 people in there. If you want to slam that thumbs up and you haven't already done it, feel free to do that. So, Jace, dealer's choice. You want to go, how about I just call this out? I'll give you the names of the groups. You don't even know if they're top or bottom. I got Naboo, Endor, Dagobah, Coruscant, or Kamino. Where are we going?
Oh, we're starting at the planet core.
Okay. So we're going to Coruscant?
You bet.
All right. What do you know about Coruscant? What's Coruscant like this time of year?
Very industrial. Pretty much, I just think USA in World War II is what I think. I just think Detroit.
Okay.
Coruscant's Detroit. That's pretty much it.
Shout out to anyone from Detroit. That was not a slander statement at all by Jace. All right, so here we are in Coruscant.
They pumped out those cars.
And you know what? We had a lot of new players join this round. So if you see some names you haven't seen before,
nice.
That's awesome. And if you're in the pod with them, make sure you're welcome to the league. So, Traco, I think is how he says that one. So new player. Kokazula is also in this group. Bernard, Tactical
Sweet.
Genius, Data, new player, Obi-Wan Toby returning for another round, Dirty Rogue 13 also been in there, and then Anthony OS Dad, stock stable in every single league round that we've had all seasons. He is in there as well. So Ryan apparently says, I mean, hot take by Ryan, you shouldn't have compared Coruscant to Detroit. So I'm not sure sure he'll tell you why you're wrong. But
Oh no, Ryan, I know exactly why I'm wrong, and I did that on purpose.
So here we have Coruscant, 7 players in the round. Again, just a reminder, if you're new, it's 4 games or more that you get the bonus point. So you get a point for every game you play. You get a bonus point if you play 4 or more games. You get 2 points a win, and 1 point if you have a bounty. The bounties are going to be in the top groups because all of the folks that finish first will be up there, but there's fewer bounties this round. Next round, I promise we'll sprinkle them out, and so the bounties will be widespread. That's the issue. I went widespread last time. Some people didn't like that they were bountied because of their faction, so I went, I hit all the people that did well in the first round to try to allow people to knock them off and get some extra points this round. So there we go. So good luck to everyone in this round. Lots of returning and some new players in there as well. So Coruscant, you guys will be all set up. Start your games immediately or as you wish. So, and you got about 6 weeks. I think I set the end date as some date in April. So I think I posted it, but I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head. So there we go. All right, Jace. Next up, we have Naboo, Endor, Dagobah, or Camino. Commander KQ says, I'm hoping I'm in your pod so I can get revenge. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
We will do Naboo.
Naboo. All right. What do you know about Naboo this time of year?
Oh, luscious.
Okay. All right. Well, here it is. Commander KQ, you do not get your wish, unfortunately. But Justice, hey, you do. So Naboo is my pod, or the pod I'm in, I should say. Jace, this is also subsequently your pod.
Again?
Yeah, so there we go. So Jason and I are going to go at each other with Dark Troopers. And we've talked a little bit about the Dark Trooper mirror match. It was kind of a bit of a wet noodle contest with really low impact. You probably could just be chucking dice for days at each other. But
I actually have a lot of impact in my list.
Oh, fair enough. I don't. So
I do.
Congratulations. So
perfect.
Yes. But I have a bounty hunter, so there's that.
Oh, I don't have that.
So... oh my God, I want to play you guys. Yeah, I know Anthony and subsequently Sean Death have the anti pick me function. I ran this through. I literally was going to screenshot, but I use letters, so I just assign everybody. In fact, I have the well, you guys can't see me, but I have the sheet here, and I go through and I don't even look at names. I assign everybody an alphabetical letter. I put it into a random generator based on alphabet, and then I just go back to the list and write it down. So what's Sean Death saying? Hey, shocking, dodge me another round. I mean, I'm hoping to kind of get through. I took Blizzard Fort expecting to whoop on you guys. Oh, fair enough, Anthony. Well, better luck next time, I guess. Yeah. I mean, you can always come up to Friday night. Okay. So standing order.
Oh, this will be an interesting round.
So J-Rod's in here, Hugo Biggs is in here, Jace is in here, Eric's in here, myself, Canadian Bear, and Justice. 2 bounties available. Graham and I just played Graham and Justice last week. So and Jace actually. So I literally have played over half of my pod in the last week, which is great, and I'll get to play them all again, which is cool. Jace and I potentially could play live on a Friday night fight. That would be one version that we could do.
That would be an option. Yeah, Sean would have to build Death Troopers.
Dark Troopers, you mean? Yeah,
it's Dark Troopers. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. I played J-Rod in my last round. Hugo Biggs I played in, I think, the round before that. You and I played in season 1, I think, right, Jace?
Yes, we played in season 1. It was like round 5 or something like that. Like
I had
4 or 5, right near the end.
Like Iden Dewbacks or something.
Yeah, you had Iden Dewbacks, and I was playing like triple whip Magna.
Yeah, triple whip Magna. That's right. And then
yeah,
looks like a group with some guys dodging me. Anthony, look at this guy. He's all full of it, eh? This guy. He's big britches now that it's all on screen here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Canadian Bear has
Anthony's the one dodging us on Friday this week. So
yeah,
I don't know what he's talking about.
That's fair. And I've played Justice several times at this point. So J-Rod, I have 3 FD cannons for all of you. That's sad.
Oh shoot.
Sad. You know what I have? I have death dropping Dark Troopers for you. behind your stationary FD cannons. So that's what I got for you. I got that for you. I mean, you can just kill them all. It's fine. Yeah, I took them like very few acts, almost zero upgrade lists. So I just wanted to get some stuff out there. So triple whip Magnus.
Sean, how many Death Troopers do you have? Do you have 2?
Dark Troopers, you mean? Yes.
Yeah, Dark. Sorry.
Yeah, I have. Two.
Okay.
I have.
You didn't take the Battle Force, did you?
Like the Remnant.
Or did you? Yeah.
No, I didn't. No.
You didn't
No,
take
no.
Remnant. Okay.
No.
I did take Remnant.
I don't even know what my list is. I think it's 2 Dark Troopers, 3 Naked Storms, Boba, Moff Gideon.
Oh, yep, that would do it.
Yeah, I just want to fire support Boba shots. So just for funsies. So just to try to clean bounties. So yes. So that's our group. That's their 2 bounties to collect. So that is Naboo. We'll get that going. All right, what do we got? Next up, we are either going to Endor, Dagobah, or Kamino.
Endor, of course, you picked all very far away planets because I'm trying to go I'm trying to go center of the galaxy farthest. I believe Endor is the next closest one.
Endor next closest one. All right, we're going to go to Endor. So, Andrew, I'm not 100% sure. Sean Dess got my list. Graham's got my list, and he can tell me if it's legal. But I basically have no upgrades, and that's how. So, Boba Fett just survives on pure dice. So, all right. Well, here's the other top group from the round. And by the way, I think most of the groups are 7. I think there's one group maybe that's 6. So lots of chance to get the bonus for everybody. But 2 bounties in this round here, or this group, I should say. So we got Bobster 117, Crow Servo, Dashes with a bounty, Sean Death in here, a Strange Event. Strange Event making his way to the top half, I think, for the first time, which is fantastic. Good job, Nick.
Woo!
Mr. Witty 82, and then Anthony's in here also with a bounty target. So Anthony's got to let his dice do all the talking, and he's in here with I think this is a pretty hefty group. I'm quite glad that Jason and I both got to avoid this one, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I don't know what anybody has for a list. I mean, maybe a fair assumption. Maybe Dashes is playing, maybe playing Clones, and Sean's probably playing Empire. Anthony, we know, is playing.
Sean's definitely playing HH12s. 100%.
Yeah, Anthony's playing Blizzard. Don't know what Jake's playing at all. Nick is primarily an Empire player, a Strange Event, so he probably has Empire too. And I don't think I've played Crow Servo, and it's been a while since I played Bobster, so I'm not sure if they're in the chat or not. So,
I, funny enough, had Crow Servo in back-to-back league rounds. So this is my first round in the past 3 that I have.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It's
funny.
My list is a 7-act list. Thanks for this. Thanks for that. It's weak. It's weak sauce.
What is mine? Mine's 8 acts.
8 acts, fair enough. Yeah,
but I've got upgrades.
Upgrades. I want to be finished quick. I need to be done this. I need to practice my worlds list. So that's going to short me 2 weeks from league rounds because I'm going to get practice games in with a non-list. If you guys stop banning Magna Guards, Hugo and I have started a petition against this league. The Magna Guard should never be banned, but so far it's gone nowhere. But so that's the Endor group. That looks like a pretty hefty group. So we didn't get a lot of games streamed. So hopefully, if people are interested, make sure you guys post up that you're looking for a streamer. And if you're interested in streaming or would be willing to, maybe also post up in the stream section so people know. So Crow was a tough game last time I played him. He's a solid player, Anthony says.
Oh yeah.
And then maybe
definitely very good player.
Commandos. Yeah, I mean Commandos.
When me,
a lot better.
So me and Crow have played twice, and I will say the player who played double bus has won both times.
Okay, fair enough.
Which meant he won the first one and I won the second one.
Just traded off the double buses. So
pretty much.
Jake is interested in streaming all his games, which is cool. Awesome. Okay,
beautiful.
We have 2 choices left here. I don't think we've gone to Dagobah or Kamino.
Nope. So next would be Dagobah.
All right, off to Dagobah we go. Dagobah, another group of a lot of, I guess a good smattering here. We got a couple of new folks and some returning folks, I should say, so not technically new. So JD relegated this round. Sad to see JD, not in my league group this time, but I get some reprieve from him.
It's like Sean can't bully him now.
Yeah, fair enough. It's usually we're pretty 50-50, JD and I. So Silent Sword, who I've also had twice, also not in the group, so I'm okay with that. To get a break there and get them a chance to play other people as well. They're probably saying the same thing. Exeter, I've played. Vesnan is new to the league, so welcome to him. Debaticus was a staple in season 1, hasn't been able to join us much for season 2, but is back in the fold, which is fantastic. There's JD hanging out in chat. And then Commander KQ has been there, and then Pally. Yes, you've pointed out, Sean Death. Pally is back in the rounds. So
what?
Yeah, which is good. So he needs to start climbing up the ladder. So you guys will have a really good smattering, I think, of veteran players in this group. So if you're looking to learn a lot in your games, I think this group's got a lot to teach each other as they go at it. So look for that group to have lots of fun games, I think. So yeah, looking forward to the parachuting in on all these games. So first game with Pally coming. Okay, fair enough. There you go. JD's already calling Pally out by the sounds of it. So yeah, predictions in chat. All right, last but not least, we got Camino. We haven't gone Camino yet.
We have Camino left, yep.
All right, Camino is there. Camino is actually our smallest group. We had one group of 6, but I, again, went up an entire group, an entire pod, which is great. So this one's got, I think, 3 new players in it. Oasis, Snoochies, and APOC, all brand new players to the league. Soren Cloud returning, Exile Bullet returning, and Darkslider 66 also returning. So nice sort of mix here of new and old. So but with 6 players in the group, 5 games, would be your max, and so you'll get your bonus at 4, and they'll still get the bonus. So we try not to make the pods because we've gone that 4 bonus. We moved that up from season 1. We basically had it at 3+. We've decided to go for slightly larger pods. That way, if somebody can't play or has to drop out, there's still wiggle room in there that you can all get your bonus points. So if we ever had a group that let's say had half of them drop out, we've never had that, but if that was the case, we would find a way to make sure that you guys can get a bonus point for playing as most games as possible. So the points are fictitious and mean nothing other than getting you on the standings and bragging rights, but we'll always make sure that nobody's feeling kind of off put or put out on that. So yeah, so I can't say a lot about folks I've played Exile Bullet before. Darkslider as well, I think I played in one game. I haven't played Soren, and obviously I haven't played any of the new players, but looking forward to see how they do. Obviously half of these players are going to make their way to the top rankings, so we could see some new folks in the mix at the top, and obviously these the couple top groups that we have are going to be pretty cutthroat in the sense that half of them are going back down. So I'll see you guys at the bottom sometime in April. So that'll be where I'm headed. So I just needed to get through this special forces ranking so we can get onto the support rankings and you guys can cut spiders next round. So because I think spiders are back. I think spiders are going to make a pretty big comeback here with Dark Troopers on the table. So, and
then after that, we can get some Death Trooper reprieve.
Yeah, fair.
Or Dark Trooper reprieve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dark Troopers. Small prediction: Dark Troopers might be getting banned when we get to heavies. Just saying.
Yeah. So, just slight chance.
Yeah, if you're leaning heavy on them, good chance that maybe bikes get cut out in the next round as well for support. So that pretty much guts Blizzard Force. And at the route it's going, Jace, I might say I dare say RTs might be getting a little cut come banned.
Yeah, there's a lot more RTs than I expected to see.
Yeah. So Travis saying, man, you guys are making me miss the league. Gonna have to do my best to get in the next round. Absolutely, Travis. Like, where you been at, bro? We got tons
of back.
Room. We got no cap on this. So unlike Worlds, no cap. We're taking everybody in we can. So get in there, get in here, yeah, for sure. So, all right, Jace, we are at the 129 mark, which is not bad. We got through that pretty decently. Let's do about 15 minutes of roundtable and get some people calling out some groups here. So,
you bet.
I'll smack the button. Okay, we're in the roundtable 158 for the episode. Discussion topics today are pretty straightforward and simple. I didn't put the league in here. I should have, but we'll open it up. The league is just a stock standard topic. You can talk about that on here. But other than that, let's talk about Commander Cody, Dark Troopers, World's meta, and World's post-meta, if in fact there is a difference in that. So I will throw the the linky poo here in the chat. The rules are, ideally we'd like you to stick to the topic. or a topic, and chat with us about that. We'll queue up a few people. If we don't have people standing by, I'll keep you on the screen, and if I need to kick you out, we'll do that in a friendly manner, just so we can get as many people through in the next 15 minutes as possible. See you later, Jake. Have a great night. Endor, he's coming
See you,
for
Jake.
all of you. So we
Ooh,
have that.
scary.
So yeah, so links in there. You guys can call in. We'll get you on here. Jake, Jason and I will talk for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna go eat some supper after this. So, and probably
Same
read some report cards. It's that season right now. So, all right. So Jace, you and I can speak about our pod specifically. Yeah. So what'd you say? Have you 2 darks? And what else you got in there? Moff Gideon, 2 darks, and then you got what? You got a
So
remnant,
I'm
right?
$7.99.
So,
$7.99 with the Battle Force. I have.
Hold that. Yeah. Keep going. I'm gonna get Andrew in here while you're doing that.
Yeah, so I got Gideon with Aggressive Tactics because I think it's a must with Dark Troopers. The Dark Saber, of course, and Improvised Orders just for some extra order control.
Right.
I got 2 heavies, which becomes 4 heavies of Dark Troopers with just the Assault Cannon and the Programmed.
Okay.
And then I have a Naked Storm, a Storm with a Shore Trooper T-21B because I went full into these switching heavies thing.
Okay. Gotcha.
A Scout Trooper with full Scouts with a T-21 Storm. A Shore with a T-21 Storm, and then Death Troopers with a Shore T-21B and the config because it's free.
Okay. Cool. I like it. Welcome, Andrew. Welcome, Anthony.
Hey,
all
guys.
right, Andrew, you're first in, so I'll give you first dibs here at what you're going into.
Yeah, go for Dark Troopers. First off, they were sneakily difficult to put together.
Okay.
I'm not looking forward to that.
At least for me, the legs definitely getting those to set in properly.
Right.
Yeah, that was some sauce there for sure. It lures you to a false sense of easiness when you're putting the torsos and the heads together. Like, all right, this is really good. You get to the legs, like, man, they can't get these to sit.
Did you have anything? Did you have anything break off at all when you were putting them together? Or?
Oh yeah, yep. I had the big the gun that goes across the body, not the rocket launcher, but the other one.
Right.
I had it. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think it's the Assault Cannon one.
Yeah, the Assault Cannon. Yeah, I had it.
Yeah.
I had it snap off, like right at the not really a point, but like right where the I guess the wrist or the hand meets up to the rocket. There's like a small little point there. It snapped there. I had to kind of glue that part back together. So I had a couple breaking points there on the models there.
Right. No, that's unfortunate. I haven't assembled or got any the Dark Troopers yet, but I've been busy doing other things. So I'll do them post Worlds. Maybe I'll even pick them up when I'm down there. So Jace, just because I was telling my list before, so I have Moff Gideon with precisely 0 upgrades.
Nice.
Boba Fett with Hunter and E gear, no other tech. 3 Stormtroopers, also no upgrades. And then I have fully kitted Dark Troopers ×2 with Frag Launcher, Assault Cannon, Dark Trooper, the extra, and then the program loyalty. Just going all in on them. I want to give them a rip. So that's 800.7 activations, by the way. So
I like them. It's just the range 2 on that cannon was like it didn't come up very much, but they can be good.
Just when you just drop them in at range, just drop them in. They'll be fine. So
yep.
Then you're at range, so you'll be fine. So
you can only do that with 1 though, unfortunately.
I know. You just do the squeeze play. This classic pincer move.
Yep.
So squeeze them out from both ends. So. Okay, well that's awesome. You can hang out with us, Andrew. I got a full deck here. If I get any more calls, I'll let you know. But you're good now. So Anthony, what do you got going on over there? One Blizzard Force Crutch player we got.
I'm excited to play against Dark Troopers. I was just wishing it was going to be you guys this round. I took Blizzard because I wanted to play against you guys. I knew you guys were going to do the Dark Trooper thing.
I don't know for sure who's all in your
I got a stacked group for sure.
He could probably tell you how many dark. Well, here's a good thing, Anthony. 62% of the heavies in this league are Dark Troopers, so there's a good chance somebody in your group probably has Dark Troopers.
Well, for sure there will be, but I feel guilty playing Blizzard Force if it's not against you guys.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Wow.
Guilt will quickly wash away the second Anthony starts rolling his heavy response units. I assure you of that.
Yeah.
Justice, he's calling me out. He's going to take the bounty off me. Justice, you have said you were going to. I don't know what our record is, but I'm pretty sure mine is whatever number -0, and yours is 0 - whatever number of games we played. Just saying that. I don't know. I'm not keeping track or score or anything like that, but I think you got the 0 for right now against me. So, but this is the round for sure. I'm giving up a lot of bounty points this round, 100%. So, yep, 100%. JD, what you got going on? You got Pally in your group, and you got a few other folks. So,
Yeah, I haven't ever played Pally yet.
okay. Good chance he's probably running clones.
Yeah, so I'm playing a couple Dark Troopers, both heavies.
Remnant or Remnant
yeah, I'm
or
doing Remnant.
Yeah,
I'm doing Remnant, but I'm doing Officer Remnant, so no Gideon in it. So
I was
Officer-
debating that.
Yeah. How many activations are you, JD?
Officer H12 on anything that does. So 5 core total and 2 darks with both heavies. So 8 activations.
Okay. Canadian Bear said, I'll say he said he isn't playing clones this round. Okay, so maybe Pally's no clones. It's got to be
I
rebels.
think he's rebels.
It's gotta be
he's
rebels then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, he's not going to go that far out of the box. That's for sure. He's not playing no CIS. That's for sure. So, yeah, I was so wanting to play CIS this round because I wanted to get some more Worlds practice games in. But as soon as Magnus got taken out, I think Magnus are a pretty big staple in my list right now. They're not I don't have a lot of them, but without them, I have basically no ability to stop a Force user. So I would just get.
What were the bans this round?
Bans this round were Death Troopers. But you could take one in Remnant because it's mandatory, so they were limited to 1. So no Magnus, no Death Troopers, no
Full arcs.
full arcs, and then who am I missing here?
Melee Wookiees.
Melee Wookiees, that's right. Yeah, no melee Wookiees, and then so that was the round. So
Yeah, I wanted to play 5 first, but without the arcs, it's just not worthwhile.
Right, yeah, and you could take them. It's just you were limited to the 1. So, and again, that I think that whole idea of the bans really just makes a list just not viable. One or more lists just not viable for a single round. They'll basically be back in the following round. There's nothing that's going to hinder 501st likely in the next round coming. So,
Next round, I'm definitely playing Ventress.
okay, fair enough. Yeah, and it's again because we won't be banned on no ban there. So. Hugo saying Magnazar is Bay for sure. Him and I, we're in the same pod this round, but definitely not facing off with Magnus. So, Andrew, when are we going to get you back in the round, my friend? In this league here, what's going on?
I gotta find time for it, and I gotta learn TTS also.
Okay, well that's fair. Well, the league's a good place to start to do that for sure. No shortage of people that are willing to get games in for sure. But yeah, the time is certainly a thing, but we try to do that 6 weeks to give people lots of time. Unless you're Anthony, you get 6 games done in a week and then just sit around complaining that leagues take too long to run. So, us people that got us humans that got other things to do. So, yeah. Yep.
Well, I knew I was about to get busy coaching wrestling, so I tried to get them all done early.
Yeah, I tried to get. I think I got most of them. I think JD, me and you were the only one that couldn't play. JD had a wedding. Apparently that takes up your time, but congratulations on that, JD. Hopefully that went over well.
Congrats,
so,
buddy.
Yeah. Is that I don't know how many children you have, but is that how many? Is that what your oldest that got married or?
Yeah, oldest of 4. So
okay, oldest of 4. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So you got some more weddings in the future, maybe. So down the road. I also.
Yep.
In 100 years, I'm gonna have to look forward to a wedding. So my daughter's not able to get married, so she's older than me, or I'm no longer around because I'm not trying to partake in any of that stuff. So yeah,
that day comes faster than you ever want to think it will.
My goodness,
Yeah, it sure does.
we just got makeup. She just had a 4th birthday on Sunday, and she got a makeup kit, and I thought it was gonna be the end of the world right there. So yeah, that's crazy. So yep. So they grow up so fast, except for Jace. He's still waiting to grow up.
Still waiting.
Still here.
Yeah, he's aging. He's just not growing. So yeah, he's got that going for him. So yeah, for sure. So yeah, Anthony, unfortunately ducked you another round, my friend. I don't know if the algorithm just doesn't like you. So or Sean Death apparently. So.
Or Sean Death. Yeah, me and
Yeah.
Sean Death are always in the same pod, and you never play us. So I don't know. I think there's some shenanigans going on there.
Canadian Bear says he's just wondering how long that goes. I mean, I told him before I think it was on Friday. I was like, all right, I'm putting the pods league grounds together. I was like, there's a 50-50 chance that I get Sean Death or Anthony, and apparently it was a 50-50 for not either one of you. So Jason I'm back with. So Jason, we've been together twice or three
Once.
times. So
This
will
is
be
our
the
second.
Twice, the second time.
This will be the second. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've been with JD a few times for sure. This will be the first time in a bit I haven't been in there. So,
I think I've had Jace 2 or 3 times, but I've still never played. Yeah, I think you're pretty much the only person in league I haven't played.
pretty much the only play. I also haven't played Sean Death for that matter. So, if Debaticus was in, I had him like 4 times. So, and he's back in the round now. So if he goes top side, I'm going bottom side. So one of the two of us have to scrub out or do real well, and then guaranteed I have him in the next one. So I have a clearly cooked algorithm for dice, for making the bands, all the things. So eventually we'll end up there. So we'll end up
Computer
at the top.
wizard.
Yeah, I can operate computers like nobody's business. So I run a Mac. See, that's the thing. So Macs basically do whatever you want them to do. I just say avoid Anthony, cross my fingers, and it's all good. So I've been in the same.
Sean just does replace Anthony with Justice.
Yeah, because Justice. There we go. See, 3 rounds in a row for Justice. I think the algorithm just likes certain letters. So I'll have to make a note here. Anthony, you were assigned as letter N, and I was assigned as letter J, and Sean Death was letter I. So he was next to me in the list and didn't get in my group. You were 5 away and didn't get in the group, and Justice was 1 away on the bottom side and was in my group. So, and Canadian Bear was A. So the algorithm just spits out letters. I don't know. It just does things. So just maybe it just kept me away from the Blizzard crutch. I'm not really sure. I just put that in. I was like, anybody playing Blizzard, just not in my group.
What algorithm?
Sean's secretly the code breaker.
It's literally just a random group generator for letters and making groups in schools. So yeah, it's just a thing that I use all the time. So yeah, you should just write us a code. Just write us one. More complicated than than necessary.
I can do that.
Yeah, just.
I'm a programmer. I can do that.
Yeah, I mean they're free on the internet, so really don't need to spend any extra time. But
the code is going to be put you in my group. Everything else can be random.
Yeah, it's just this pod kicks out with 2 people, Anthony and Sean. That's it. We play together 9 games. It's a 9-game series.
Yeah, best of 5.
Yeah, for sure. Well, as long as I can take Magnus and spiders, because I think Blizzard doesn't like Ion spiders. I think it just doesn't.
Oh, I don't have to play Blizzard though. I just took it this round expecting lots of Dark Troopers.
Sean says, "You know what? I mean, if."
Yeah, go for get Zuri to pick the pods.
Yeah,
give Zuri the hat and have her pull the names out.
So what we could do, because I want to make the fancy screens, I can get Zuri to pull them live on one show, and we'll make it happen. The next one will be live, and we'll do it a week ahead. I'll make the pods, and then we'll do it from there. So be fine. Now here's the thing: I won't put Anthony's name in the hat. Period. And Sean Death's name's gonna fall out of the hat, and then and then it'll be like, oh, what's this one on the floor? Oh, it's Anthony. Oh, there's no room left in my pod. So yeah, I mean, quick story about that, and just this is not going to bode well for me in this anti-cheating tech. But when I was in high school, we actually had a hat, and your name was in there. It was my French class, and you had to pull the name out of the hat, and that person had to go to the front and basically rapid fire questions and answer them in French. And every day I convinced the 2 guys that I sat beside, I'd be like, I'm not getting picked today, guys. I'm not getting picked. It's not going to be my day. It's not going to be my day. And we went through the semester, and each day was not my day. Each day was not my day. Well, fair enough. My name was actually never in that hat. I never put it in the hat. And I convinced the teacher on one of the days that she was away to hooligans like myself. So, yes. So shout out to that teacher. To this day, she probably is still convinced I went. So I was never in the hat. So, yes. But we'll make sure we write them. We'll get them in there. We'll have a witness, and we'll find out. So. Yeah, small great story there. So, so we got some things. So let's quickly before we wrap up and actually hit some of these topics. Meta quickly. Post Worlds and pre Worlds. Is it going to be the same? Or are we going to come out with a new meta post Worlds? What do you think?
We'll probably have a new meta. I mean, I still think Blizzard Force is the end all be all if they don't do anything to it. Dark Troopers.
They've got to, right?
I mean, Dark Troopers are good, but I still think Blizzard Force is better.
I think the speed of Blizzard Force is just makes it good. It can relocate. It can be where it needs to be. It can run away if it needs to. It can do a lot.
Well, and its ability to bid and still have so much threat.
True, for sure.
The sound of the communication when they said that it was going to be legal for Worlds, though, sure made it sound like they know it's a problem, and I imagine it gets addressed shortly after Worlds.
Well, do you think maybe some of the promo cards were already printed up and it seemed like let's at least get these out and make them usable for that time? And isn't that always the way with promos, right? They come out and then suddenly they're like no longer valid, or the text isn't right, or that's why I kind of like the generic ones that we got. We're always going to know that assault and push and standing orders are going to be valid. So I like when they do all types of the generics. So
at the end of the day, I think the World's meta is just play Empire, because it's just so much better than every other faction. There's just got so many good lists.
Yeah, Empire is in a really great spot. For sure. I mean, and they continue to get better with almost every single release, if not every release.
Well, and points updates, they just leave them alone and mess up everyone else.
True, and that's actually a good point that Anthony brings up. I don't know what you guys think, but do you think we're going to get, because they have said that they'll do points updates, periodically. Do you think that we'll, in addition to maybe some changes to Blizzard, do you think we'll also get some more point changes?
I hope so for Rebels. Nothing.
Rebels got
nothing
gutted.
directly touched them, but everything indirectly touched them in this last update, and they've seen the biggest slide for sure.
Yeah, here's what's going to happen, JD. There's going to be a lot of FD cannons at World in response to Dark Troopers, and they're going to increase Rebel points. Is what's going to actually happen. So just
oh my goodness, I hope not.
I mean, that seems to be the way sometimes things go, right? It's just you get these these artificial arms races, or this artificial mechanism that causes that. Because I have seen a ton of people. We knew that Echo Base came out, and we knew that you could take FD cannons, but that really never came to be. People just weren't really running them. But now lately, I've seen more and more and more FD conversation with Dark Troopers, and I think we're going to see multiple four FD cannon lists at Worlds for sure.
But do you think, I think Echo Base was okay, but I think there was just too many counters to it. All at the same time, they had Blizzard Force, which was 1,000 times better than Echo Base, and then also the release of the raiding party stuff for Shadow Collective, which basically is a hard counter to Echo Base.
Right. Yeah. Maybe quite possibly. And now they're kind of maybe carving out a little bit more space, maybe, and so. They might be more viable right now. It's an arm race. We talked about this for sure. I think Dark Troopers. I'm running Dark Troopers because I probably won't play Dark Troopers as kind of like a go-to list. I think I'm pretty much back switched over to CIS. I don't know. I've had a hankering for droids, and I think the B2s are in a really good space. And I never got on the B2 train the first time around, but I think B2s also have a viable space right now in the game with all the cover.
Take a call here.
Yeah, no worries. All the cover rules that are in there. So, but I do think that Worlds will create maybe a void and a vacuum at the same time that's going to start pulling certain things out of the list roster, and FD cannons might be one of them. So, and then Dark Troopers are just going to be a menace. So. Have you faced Dark Troopers, JD? Have you gone against them yet?
Yeah, my son's playing Dark Troopers, so we've played a few games back and forth, and they're good.
They are super good.
I'm actually going to torture myself this weekend. I'm going to a local, and there probably is going to be mostly Empire there. So I'm going to take a Rebel crit list and see what I can do. But
Okay. Yeah.
I'll probably it's the Sean scrub out strategy. So probably go 0-3.
Gotcha.
Come home,
my strategy go 03. I mean, I'm gonna go 03 at Worlds so I can walk around and look at more stuff. So there's even like a tactic there. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, my list will probably go 03 pretty fast. So yeah. I'll miss the list swap and the Dark Trooper. Oh, okay. So Canadian Bear just verifying for us. It's actually Dark Troopers at 64.3%. So yeah, just somehow in the series of this podcast tonight, we've added more Dark Troopers.
They went up 5%.
Yeah, exactly. That's how good they are. They've just continued to increase. You're welcome, AMG. We've increased your stock in Dark Troopers. So, Andrew, real question: how many boxes did you get? How many Dark Trooper boxes?
3.
Okay, you went full in on the Dark Troopers.
Yeah, and I'm kind of regretting the third, but I have it, so might as well, might as I'm already ankle deep, waist deep, might as well go all in.
I mean, you broke models, so the third box at this point is just replacement parts, is what I'm hearing. So there's always that option. So
Yeah, and I finally got Dark.
I think you muted yourself, Andrew, somehow in that.
Oh, I did. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
there we go.
Ahead.
So I was saying, I feel like Dark Troopers were a very interesting design space because they feel like almost night and day from a typical Empire list.
Right.
To where your Empire lists, even if they're not Blizzard Force, you're fielding 9, 10 units. Where even though the net activations are the same, it just feels like they play totally different style to your typical Empire list.
No, for sure. Even like when I was playing against Jason, I've played against a couple other people now with Dark Troopers, and it's just like that they're going to go again, but the X factor is, and it's based effectively on bag control. The X factor is you don't know if they're going to go immediately after. Like back to back is really is easy to achieve. You don't know if there's going to be a small gap in there. You're trying to set up windows where it's like, I was always making choices like, okay, do I go with my spider now to try to get the ion off on this Dark Trooper before it goes again? Or do I actually want to position something that, because if I shoot the ion and it's not successful, these guys get erased. So do I want to change the range band here first? And I was kind of always chasing in terms of what my opponent was going to pull. And that never felt like a good space either. And like Dark Troopers just seem like they're in the driver's seat all the time. They're like, well, I'm not going to have cover. I'm going to, I'm at this range band. This is what I'm going to do. They seem like they always just want to just press the W key. They're always straightforward. And the ability to peekaboo with them is really gross as well. If they get in a bad spot, they're like, cool, I'm going to move, shoot. Oh, I'm in a bad spot here. Oh, don't worry about that. Let me just shoot, move back to where I was and be safe again. And then the next turn they set that up, and like that's a really gross mechanic to have. And yes, stormtroopers or snowtroopers can do that, but you know what? 4 white dice doesn't quite feel as bad as that Dark Trooper pool. So yeah, they do search, but it's just not quite the same pool for sure. So yeah, it's pretty gross. So. Okay, last little thoughts here, then we'll end off the show because we're going to hit that 2-hour mark. Mike Larson says, and see what you guys think about this, I don't think Worlds is going to be an indication of the meta at all. It's supposed to be the best of the best right now, also from different areas and in the U.S. and the world. What do you guys think about Worlds being an indication of meta? Or do you think it's just going to be like some meta and then a bunch of counter tech to that? Or is that?
I think it's going to be a lot of big.
Go ahead.
I think it's going to be what the overarching national meta is. It may not match a lot of the local specific metas because you get these micro metas in every little area, and even inside the league and stuff like that, we see it. But I think I agree with Anthony. I think that the top dog right now is Blizzard. You're either bringing Blizzard or how do I counter Blizzard, and
Right.
And for people that are really serious about trying to win worlds, it's those are the questions they're asking. Either I'm bringing it or I'm countering it.
I'm I guess I didn't ask any of the right questions because I'm not bringing Blizzard, and I'm not even sure I have an answer for Blizzard. But fair enough, JD. I'm going to O3 and scrub it out. We already know my approach, so we're perfectly fine. No. In fairness, I think the list I have right now has got a few answers for Blizzard. I think in the latest iteration of it, for sure, having some range 4 guns. With 6 dice pools that put out ion is kind of a bite killer.
And Griffin already kind of proved that out a little bit at LVO when he ran something similar. I know it's not exactly the same as what you're running, but
the B2,
with the similar list into a lot of Blizzard, he did just fine with it. So
and I like where I've kind of added a bit more tech, not necessarily, and this is what I was kind of getting at with Jace. I'm adding tech in the list that is versatile, like adding a range 4 3 dice, 2 black 1 red poke with impact isn't just good to shoot at a dark trooper at range 4. That's just a good I'm gonna put a suppression at range 4 and maybe sneak one over cover type of thing. Having blast weapons at range 3, that's just good all around dice pools. If you're putting four dice that need to be saved, or 3 dice reliably I should say, into a unit and forcing them to burn off dodge tokens, which is what I've found happens more often than not. But it's a good way to get through dodges because people are kind of not wanting to risk rolling saves, because if you scrub out on that first shot because you don't want to spend your dodge tokens, well then you could be found wanting after that. So and it's not a straight Blizzard counter. I've really built the list to have as many tools as possible. That's the hope anyway. But I think what Michael's saying, and maybe I agree and sort of somewhat disagree, that I think maybe the current meta is meta or counter meta. Like I think that's what everyone's doing. Everyone's either teching, like you said, against Blizzard or Dark Troopers, or before it was like, how do I get around Rebel dodge spam? How do I get around melee aggro melee users? We're always kind of playing that sort of arms race, and I think the worlds might be not as uniform as one might think, because there's so many diverse players coming from all over. But I don't think if you look at it from a 30,000 foot view, it's going to be much different than I'm taking counters to counters. I think that's what it's going to be. So I just hope that I don't run into I don't think I'm going to run into many mirrors, but I wonder how many mirror matches are going to be there, because the mirror matches aren't necessarily that fun. If you travel really, really far to play against 3 Blizzard Force lists and you have Blizzard Force, I'm not sure that's an amazing experience day one kind of thing. So
yep, LVO, I played 6 games. The first 5 were all against Empire, and 3 Blizzard mirrors, and
right.
So
yeah,
that doesn't make for the most interesting play for sure.
Yeah, Michael saying I'm playing Rebel off meta list, and he's also no threat to win worlds. We can scrub out together, absolutely. And subsequently, Mike Larson's actually my doubles partner, so we're gonna scrub out, and then we're gonna prep for doubles like nobody's business. All day Saturday, we're practicing for doubles. So that'll be our approach. So J Rod, who's also staying with our group, and he's gonna scrub out, and we're just gonna get pizza. It sounds like. So fantastic, all good. All right, well, we'll go around the horn real quick. Andrew, you're not going to Worlds, right? You're going to live vicariously through the internet. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, JD, you are unable to go because you just had the wedding that you needed to take care of. So you're living vicariously as well. Anthony's
be hanging out with Endless.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's good. Yeah, you guys will have a wicked stream to watch the whole time. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. So you won't see me on it, but I'll try to wave my hand under the camera when I walk by, just so you guys know I'm there. So if you guys see a guy doing like finger puppets along the camera, you'll know that's me. So Jace is also hanging out here. Anthony's hanging out here. So just me going down to rep for us, but there will be a ton of other people who are definitely in our chat that'll be there. So I'm looking forward to meeting all those folks, and I think we'll probably get one more show in before Worlds. So you guys can maybe I'll get my my army so you guys can see what it looks like before I head off, and then Ben and I will do some coverage, and then we'll bring you guys back. We'll have a great post show when we get back for sure, and talk about all things Worlds, and what pizza J Rod and Michael and I got when we scrubbed out after day one. So we'll have that information for you guys for sure. So I'll be the supervisor at Worlds, but I'll enjoy the LCQ. So there we go. So lots of people. I'm looking forward. I think it'll be a good show. I've never been to Adepticon. Jace, you've been to Adepticon though, right? Once you went.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah, you went to. As JD, have you ever been to Adepticon? No, it's one of the big ones. Andrew, no, that's one of the big ones I haven't been to. So I will cross that off the bucket list for before too long. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for the show. Thanks, Jace, for hanging out with us. Sean Death's wife said your puppy's cute. If you didn't see that earlier, up the list there.
Yep.
So,
She's,
and
she's
again, JD, congratulations. Hope you
recovered
recovered from the weekend and the wedding that was. Andrew, hopefully you recovered from the thing that is assembling Dark Troopers. I just for funsies I put together more B1s this week, so I just felt I haven't had suffered that pain for a while, so I went and assembled some more B1s unnecessarily, but I just put them together, and I'm currently making some more funny B1s. So I'll tell you right now, I have for a little display I'm doing, I have a B1 doing a Snow Angel, and I'm just putting that together right now, so that'll be a fun one. So. And I also have two that are going to enjoy a small little hot tub party, so as well. So you guys will see that. I'll bring that to you as well. So all those funny B1 those B1 characters they're quite the guys. So all right, guys, we'll have a great one. We'll catch you on Friday. Me and Jason will be playing on Friday. We'll figure out something. Yep. Maybe he'll run maybe run some Dark Troopers and feed me more pain. So all right, till next time, guys. Thanks for watching. All right, cheers.
All right, take care.